Good morning, dear procurement people. Welcome to the third and last pass on our mini-series on Agile Procurement. And today we're going to cover Kanban, an amazing tool to manage your and your group's capacity. But before we do that, as always, let's kick it off with the intro.
Are you looking to up your negotiation and procurement skills? You're in the right place. Welcome to ProcurementZen with your host, Phil Kowalski.
All right, today we are closing our mini-series on Agile Procurement and we cover Kanban. So, Kanban is basically a task management approach which was originally invented by the Toyota Motor Company. And for procurement, Kanban or a Kanban board is a great tool to organize your workload. So the core component, as you might have guessed, of Kanban is the so-called Kanban board. So what is that? Let's just quickly switch over to the presentation board and I just show you. So in its simplest form, a Kanban board has three columns. The backlog column, this is where all new tasks land. And you have heard the term backlog already in the video that we did on Scrum, and it basically has a very similar meaning. And Scrum and Kanban are closely related. So if you use both together in your daily procurement life, that would be an awesome combination. The next column is the in progress column. So this is where tasks from the backlog are put once someone starts working on it. And the done or completed column. And this is where finished or deployed items, if you want, go. So in software product development, there is often also a testing column, and that is where the product or item gets tested before it moves to the completed column. So you usually find it between in progress and completed. Once again, as in the previous two parts of this series, the items we move around are user stories. In our procurement life, in our daily procurement life, that would be probably demand. One important improvement over the previous methods is that both user stories and the columns, especially the in progress column, have capacities attached to them. A project user story or demand might take 20 days or 25 days to complete. And each column or the in progress column, also has a max capacity of a person or group. And this gives us a good indication if we are running out of capacity in addition to who does what. So let's see this in practice for an example group of 5 buyers in a procurement department. Assuming an 80% capacity for negotiation tasks, this would give us a capacity of 80 days per month for the whole group. So the calculation basically goes like this: 5 buyers times 5 days per week times 80% capacity times 4 weeks per month results in 80. So let's assume we have 4 demands we are currently working on. Demand number 1 requests a capacity of 25 days. Demand number 2, 10 days. Demand number 3, 30 days. And the last, demand number 4, 5 days. So these demands will go from the backlog to the in progress column. Oh, and we have the 80 that we have available above here. So let's move it over to the in progress column. Now a new demand pops up with a required capacity of 10 days. We could still do that and work on that because we have the capacity. Although we have now maxed out because all these numbers added together equal 80, our total available capacity. But it's a different story for a demand that would require 30 days, because that would violate our maximum capacity threshold. We need to openly discuss this with our stakeholders, that this is not possible to execute right away, or it could also be used to discuss a temporary extension of our team with our management. One closing point, and now I'm switching back to the main screen, one closing point on this great system is that it works best if you have a publicly available Kanban board. So let others see what you are currently working on. That could be a virtual tool. You could use, there are several tools like Meeting, Workplace or others where you can set up these kind of Kanban boards with all kinds of nifty features. But my personal experience, once we're allowed to work in the office again, is really to have a physical whiteboard with some yellow index cards on it, where you just scribble down the title of the project, the capacity that you decide upon, that you think that is required. And transparency really is key to this method. And when it comes to sharing with your organization who is working on what. And one thing that is also very important, and it's similar, that's why it combines and works together so well with Scrum, is you always have regular reviews, like stand-ups, for example, that we have introduced to you in the Scrum video 2 days ago. So that might also be quite interesting, because sometimes projects get put on hold for maybe a few months, which could free up capacity, and all of a sudden we could do our 30-day user story again, which would definitely be quite helpful. Also, if capacity is reduced by people on vacation or people not available because they're sick or whatever comes around. So a weekly review is also very, very important here. And once again, as I said before, transparency and open communication. Just as yesterday, I also want to share an amazing video that explains this approach of Kanban. Once again, a little disclaimer at the end, that video that I'm going to share in the resources section is a little bit salesy, if you want, but it's a very good video by a company called Exosoft. It is around about 4 minutes long, and it describes very well how Kanban works in project management. So you can find this if you're watching this on YouTube, down below in the description below that video. If you're listening to the audio version on our podcast, you could rather go to ProcurementZen.com/039. That's 039 for episode 39. I list the video there as well. Or you go to ProcurementZen.com/YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and see all the videos that we have published so far. All right, as I said before, that concludes our mini-series on agile methods in procurement. As always, I wish you happy negotiations and see you tomorrow.